Hello, I'm Stan Harder with the Learning and Professional Development team. This session is designed for all administrative users. Let's get started by discussing our objectives.
First, you will learn how to access Hospice and become familiar with the main menu screen. You will then learn where the patient chart is located, how to upload documents, and how forms are processed. Lastly, you will learn how to run reports. The Hospice System is a web-based application for managing and maintaining clinical documentation. Because it's web-based, information is available in real time. Here's how it fits into the maintenance of a patient's clinical record. Visit notes, forms, and other clinical documents are created in the Hospice System by field staff. These forms are sent to the office where they are processed for coding, QA, and billing. The information entered on the forms flows between the Hospice System, McKesson Hospice, and Hospice Script. Next, let's look at how to access the Hospice System. A training database has been set up to help you become familiar with the system. You will receive an email containing a link to the training database, your username, and a temporary password. The first time you log into the system, you'll be prompted to change that password. Passwords are case sensitive and must contain 8 characters, including at least 1 capital letter and 1 number. Passwords must never be shared and must be changed every 90 days. You'll receive a reminder email when it's time to change your password. After 6 incorrect attempts to log in, the system will lock your account and you'll need to contact the help desk or an administrative user in your program for a reset. Closer to your go-live date, you'll receive a second email containing the link for the live database, referred to as production. Again, you will be prompted to change the temporary password, and the same password rules apply. On the login screen, in addition to the regular login fields, username and password, is a link to the help desk website. This link is also available at the top of every screen. Although Internet Explorer is your default browser, it is not recommended for accessing this system. For optimal performance, use a browser such as Firefox or Chrome. Now let's look at some of the features and navigation processes. First of all, there are the items in red font that are underlined. These are links to other areas in the system. This is how you navigate to different forms or screens. Beside each form link, there is a blue arrow icon. This will open the form in a new window, leaving the current screen open. This makes it easy to navigate from screen to screen without having to return to the main menu. You will see multi-page documents. At the top of these forms are the page numbers. Each page number is a link, so you can go directly to that page in a document. In various places, there are drop-down menus, which open lists of options. The drop-down menu you will utilize the most is My Patients. The My Patients drop-down menu is where you will select patients from the list. Drop-down menus in the Hospice System are dynamic fields. The search begins as you type, then you select the item from the list shown. In various screens and forms, you will have to enter dates. This is done easily by using the calendar icon. The system will populate the date field based on the date you select on the pop-up calendar. All forms contain certain buttons that are found at the bottom of forms. Common buttons you will see are Sign and Save, Complete, and Push. Filters are used in various screens, enabling you to search for specific forms. Changing the defaulted filter items will limit the results. Some information can be exported to an Excel spreadsheet format for easier viewing and printing. There are help resources readily available to you. As mentioned earlier, every screen, including the main menu, has a link to support resources in the upper right-hand corner. When you select the Contact Support link, the help desk phone number displays. Next to it is a hyperlink to the help desk, which opens a website containing instructional documents and videos. In addition to finding instructional material, you can use a shortcut from here to submit a help desk ticket. Now that you are familiar with these features, let's explore the main menu. As an administrative or office user, you are presented with the Office Administrative main menu. This screen is divided into sections. The Administrative section on the left provides the ability to change form statuses to unlock documents, upload documents, as well as viewing information such as patient census. Some roles will have links to user and patient logs, providing an audit trail of actions taken. Lastly, the integration log is a listing of documents that did not flow successfully to McKesson billing. Next, there's the Forms Review QA Functions section. The link here navigates to screens used for patient care management and QA functions. These screens are primarily utilized by managers of clinical practices, also known as MCPs. Depending on your role, what you see and have access to on the View Online Activity screen will vary. Each role is responsible for doing their part of working items in the View Online Activity screen to keep the processes moving forward. The Dashboard section contains reports related to patient activity. The links found in the Admin Reports section guide you to a quick view of staff assignments. Custom reports are used in various office processes, such as tracking orders, billing, as well as scheduling. The Patient section provides links to allow the administrative user to modify a patient profile, assign staff to patients, navigate to the patient chart and the patient schedule, and create new documents after selecting a patient in the drop-down. Let's take a look at the steps to assign staff to the patient. With the patient selected, click on the Assign Staff to Patient link. In the Assign Staff screen, all users are listed by discipline on the left side of the screen. Select the user from the list and click Add. This will move their name to the right side. Scroll down the list, adding all appropriate users. When you have finished, scroll all the way down to the bottom and click Update. The added users now have access to view the patient's medical record as well as the ability to create forms for the patient. You will only be able to select someone by their primary role, even though they may have other roles. As an example, the MCP, who is also a nurse and makes visits occasionally, will be found in the MCP category and not the RN category. Now let's go back to the main menu. Now that users have been assigned to the patient, they can be assigned to ordered visits. Start of care visits are scheduled using the patient profile report, and ongoing visits are scheduled using the scheduled visits to be assigned report. Both will open the patient schedule where the scheduler will assign the visits. Let's talk a little bit about the patient chart. Not only is the patient chart link on the main menu, but it's also found on each patient form. The administrative staff has access to all patient charts by selecting the patient and clicking on the patient chart link. The field staff can also access the patient chart, but only if they have been assigned to the patient. Now let's look at the patient chart in detail. Within each patient's chart are some shortcuts to other places. You can jump directly to a different patient's chart, view a map containing the patient's service address, look at the patient schedule to find out who is seeing the patient and when, see which discipline frequencies are entered on the plan of care, or return to the main menu. The Patient Info section on the left side contains patient contact and insurance information, displays physicians associated with the patient and their contact details, and lists all the IDG team members who have been assigned to the patient. The chart section on the right is divided into benefit periods which contain clinical documents that are sorted by discipline and date. These document titles are hyperlinks that allow you to open them to review, edit, and/or print. When paper documents need to be included in the patient's chart, they can be scanned into the computer and uploaded using the following steps. From the administrative section of the main menu, open the Upload Documents screen. From there, you can select the patient from the drop-down. When it first opens up, you will see a tree file structure with folders. Look for the green check mark. This indicates which destination folder is selected. It defaults to Scan Documents, just like you see here in the screenshot. Select the appropriate destination folder. In this example, we're choosing the Plan of Care/Orders folder, and you'll see the green check mark move. I'll show you that on the next slide. The green check mark now appears next to the Plan of Care/Orders folder. At the bottom is where you can browse for the document. Once you find the document, you may choose to modify the display name of the document. When you are happy with the name and you are certain that you have the correct document for this patient, click the Upload button. At the top, above the patient name, you will see in red letters the name of the uploaded document. In my example, the document name is Sample Document. Then, in the file structure, you will see the document name with a paperclip icon next to it. This document can also be viewed from the patient chart. Here you see a patient's chart. The Upload Document screen can also be accessed from within the patient chart by clicking on the green arrow icon next to the desired folder and following the same steps that you just learned. The next area we will talk about is the View Online Activity screen, which is primarily used for QA activities. At the top of the screen is the Filter section. Remember, filters are used to search for forms. Parameters you set in the filters will limit the results of your search. Below the filters are the form status folders. Each role will look at this area differently. An MCP will be looking for certain statuses, while admission coordinators will be looking at different statuses to process. You will learn more about how your role will utilize the View Online Activity screen in upcoming classes. Let's take note of the columns. Patient medical record number, form, and the form date appear first. The next column is Select an Action, which we'll explore in a bit. Then there are columns for user, the date the form was sent to office, and lastly, the date the form was last modified. The first Form Status folder is Sent to Office. These are forms that have been completed by the field staff and sent to the office to be processed. Next is the Corrected folder. These are forms that were initially sent to the office, but they required corrections. After the corrections were made, they were sent back to the office and they will appear in the Corrected Status folder. The To Be Signed folder are forms that have been pushed from one user to another for review and co-signature. The next form status is Shared. These forms are unique in that they are available to be updated by all users assigned to the patient as long as updating is within their scope of practice. You'll need to scroll down the page to see the remaining status folders. The Pending folder contains forms that have been started but not yet sent to the office. Next, you see the To Be Corrected folder. These forms require corrections and have been sent back to the field user. The Completed folder contains all forms that have been moved to a completed status. This folder will only appear if you select the completed form status parameter in the filter. So what do you do with these forms? As the forms are reviewed, you will use actions and marks to drive office processes. Actions are used to prompt the system to do something with the form. Marks are special icons that are applied as indicators of what actions have been taken to the form. Some marks are manually applied while others are automatically applied by the system as the result of an action. Think of using marks as checking off items on a checklist. To perform an action or manually apply a mark, first select the applicable form from the list. Then click the arrow in the Select an Action field. Actions are listed first in the drop-down menu. In this screen, the actions available that you can perform are Printing, Move to Completed, Needs Corrected, Export, and Post-Visit. Scrolling down the menu, available marks are listed, and below the marks is the Unmarked section, giving you the ability to remove any marks that were applied in error. The Select an Action menu options vary depending on the process you are working. For example, when the MCP is working on QA activities in the View Online Activity screen, the actions and marks will be different from those in the Payroll Audit Report. Marks appear on the screen in the row next to the form. In the example shown, the Nursing Comprehensive form has the exported mark, which the system applied when the information on the form flowed to McKesson, the VP mark, which was applied when the visit was posted during the payroll process. This indicates that the information from the time slip on the form was sent to McKesson. The QA mark indicates the form has been QA'd. Diagnosis exported is another mark that the system applied when the diagnosis was entered on the form and flowed to McKesson. You will learn in subsequent classes more details on how these marks are used. We've looked at how actions and marks are used in the View Online Activity screen. Now let's look at other places where they are used. Reports in the hospice system are lists of forms containing information related to the report. Let's look at a couple of reports starting with the payroll audit report. Although this report says payroll, keep in mind our current payroll and mileage process will not be changing in the hospice system. Found in the Custom Reports section of the main menu, this report is used for processing visit information for billing in McKesson. Like all reports, the filter section is at the top of the report and the results display below the filters. The filter parameters in this example are set to limit the search to show only forms that are ready to be processed for payroll and billing. Click Go and the results will display. Let's look closely at these results. There are columns for patient, medical record number, and agency. The form column has links to the forms. Next is the form status column. And then the user column has the names of the creator of the forms. Next is the select an action field. The next three columns, visit posted, QA, and patient signature verified, will be where the marks are displayed. On this particular report, you'll have to scroll across to see the entire report. Information entered on the time slip portion of the form displays in the report. During visit processing, the time slip information is verified for accuracy. Here you can see additional fields that will appear when you scroll to the right of the payroll audit report. Once the time slip information has been verified as correct, the forms are selected and the Select an Action drop-down menu is opened. The actions used in the payroll process are either move to completed or post-visit. When the action is selected, the system will automatically apply the mark VP for visit posted. In cases where the patient or caregiver was not able to sign the form electronically, a paper signature form is submitted. In that case, the mark Patient Signature Verified is selected. This process is explained in more detail in the Visit Entry class. The Visit Fax Report is utilized when forms, other than orders, need to be faxed. An example would be faxing a visit note to a nursing home. Open the Visit Fax Report from the Custom Reports section. The filters can be set as needed to search for the desired forms. Select the form or forms to be faxed. From the Select an Action menu, choose Send to. In the pop-up box, select this fax number and type in the known fax number, in this example for the nursing home. When you click Next, the Fax To pop-up box will open. Simply verify that the information is correct and then click the Fax button. Anytime you fax forms, the system will apply marks automatically. They are Fax Pending, indicating that the fax is in process, Fax Failed, to show the fax did not go through, and Faxed, when the fax is successful. You will need to keep an eye on this report to ensure that all faxes go through successfully. The system will attempt to fax each item 5 times before applying the mark of Fax Failed. Now that we are coming to the end of this class, let's review what we've learned. You now know how to access and log into the hospice system. You understand what the basic functions of the system are, what actions are, and how to utilize marks. We know how to identify forms in the patient's chart, how to upload documents into a patient's chart, and how forms are processed. We also discussed how reports function and identified a couple of reports that you will be using in your daily process.
That concludes this training session. Thank you for participating, and we hope you found this session informative and helpful as we collaborate together to deliver uncompromising care. Thank you.